Have you ever felt the kind of silence that is so heavy it almost crushes you? The kind where you sit alone, staring at your phone, waiting for a message that never arrives, replaying old conversations in your head as if they could bring her back. It feels like the world has gone dim, like the colors around you have faded, and all you can hear is the echo of her absence. Losing someone you love is not just about missing their presence. It's about missing the way they made you feel alive, the way they gave meaning to your days, the way their voice carried the power to calm your storm. That loss cuts deeper than most people ever admit, and when it happens, it feels like the ground beneath you has been pulled away. The truth is, your heart isn't broken because you're weak. It's broken because it once loved with everything it had. When she left, she didn't just take herself. She took the future you had imagined, the plans you had built, and the version of you that existed only when she was by your side. That's why it hurts so much. Our minds are wired for connection. We are built to bond, to crave closeness, to anchor our emotions to someone we trust. When that bond is ripped away, the brain reacts as if you have lost a part of yourself. That's why even simple moments, seeing her favorite place, hearing her name, smelling her perfume, feel like knives that keep reopening the wound. But here's something powerful you must understand. The pain you feel right now is not proof that she's gone forever. It is proof that your love was real. If you can feel this deeply, it means there is something worth saving, something worth fighting for, something that still lives inside you. She is not as far away as your fears make you believe. People don't walk away from genuine connection easily. Often they step back because of pain, confusion, or timing, not because their heart has closed completely. And if she truly mattered to you, then you must see this moment not as the end, but as the beginning of transformation. Right now you may feel powerless, but you are not. You still hold the key to what happens next. That key is not found in chasing, begging, or drowning in regret. It is found in becoming stronger, calmer, and more grounded than you have ever been before. Because the truth is, she will only remember the best version of you. The man who made her laugh, who made her feel safe, who inspired her without trying. That man is still inside you. And if you choose to rise now, if you choose to rebuild yourself piece by piece, you will not only find healing, you will create the very energy that pulls her back into your life. Stay with me, because what comes next will show you exactly how to make that happen. If you want her to return, you must first face the truth of why she left. Love does not disappear overnight. Affection does not vanish without cause. When she stepped away, it wasn't just about you. It was about the weight she carried inside herself. People don't walk away because everything was perfect. They walk away because something inside them felt unseen, unheard, or unfulfilled. That does not mean you failed. It means there was a gap between what she needed and what you were able to give. Understanding this truth is not about blaming yourself. It is about reclaiming your power. Because when you see clearly, you can grow. And when you grow, you change the story. Often, the mistake we make is to see her departure as a punishment, as if she wanted to hurt you. But the human heart does not operate in cruelty when love has been real. She left because she needed space to breathe, to feel, to search for clarity. Sometimes people run not from you, but from the storm inside themselves. Sometimes they leave to test if what they had can survive distance. And sometimes they leave because the version of you they loved has been buried under stress, doubt, or distraction. This is why holding on to resentment will never bring her back. Anger pushes her further away. Blame locks the door tighter. But acceptance, quiet and strong, begins to unlock it. You must look at her leaving not as rejection, but as information. It tells you where the cracks were, where the connection weakened, where her heart began to feel uncertain. That is not something to grieve forever. It is something to learn from. Because when you can see the truth without defense, you have already taken the first step toward rebuilding what was lost. Remember, love is not a straight line. It bends, it stretches, it breaks, and it heals. The fact that she walked away does not mean she is gone forever. It only means that the foundation needs to be rebuilt stronger than before. And here is the power you must hold on to. She is far more likely to return when she feels that you understand, when she senses that you have grown, when she sees that you are no longer clinging to the past but shaping a better present. This is not about changing who you are. It is about revealing the best of who you are. She once loved that version of you deeply. She can love him again, but only if you choose to step back into him, let go of fear, let go of desperation, and replace it with clarity. That is the path that opens her heart once more. That is the shift that makes her see you not as the man she left, but as the man she cannot stay away from. You cannot force love back into your life by chasing it. The more you push, the more it slips away. This is the paradox of the heart. It is drawn to freedom, not pressure. When you beg, plead, or demand, you do not remind her of love. You remind her of heaviness. And heaviness is the very reason she pulled away. If you want her to return, you must understand the quiet truth of attraction. It is not built through force. It is built through energy. She must feel drawn, not cornered. She must feel safe, not suffocated. This is the difference between pull and push, and it decides everything. Think about the emotions she attaches to you in this moment. If those emotions are stress, conflict, or pressure, she will keep her distance. If those emotions are peace, strength, and inspiration, her heart will wander back without you even asking. That is why your greatest power is not in the words you send or the calls you make, but in the man you become when she is not around. Your silence can speak louder than any speech. Your calm presence can echo louder than any promise. Attraction is not built in what you say to her. It is built in what she feels when she thinks of you. This is where control shifts. Instead of asking, how can I get her back? Ask, how can I create a life so magnetic that she cannot stay away? The difference is everything. When you shift from desperation to calm confidence, from begging to building, from chasing to becoming, you flip the dynamic completely. Now you are no longer the one waiting for her decision. You are the one shaping the energy she cannot resist. She will return not because you pulled her by force, but because your growth created a natural pull she cannot ignore. Understand that love is not lost through distance, but through the emotions tied to that distance. If she feels suffocated, the distance grows longer. If she feels curiosity, the distance grows shorter. If she feels admiration, the distance collapses altogether. This is why push never works. It traps, it pressures, it destroys the very thing you are trying to save. Pull, however, creates mystery, respect, and longing. It allows her to feel her own choice. And nothing is more powerful than a heart that chooses on its own. Your task is not to convince her. Your task is to remind her. Remind her of the man she once admired by becoming him again in your silence, in your growth, in your strength. That is how you rebuild the magnetic energy that pulls her back without a single word. That is how she feels the difference between the man she left and the man she now cannot forget. If you truly want her to feel the pull back toward you, it begins with rebuilding yourself from the inside out. The most powerful shift happens not when you focus on her absence, but when you focus on your presence. Who are you becoming right now? What energy are you creating in your life when no one is watching? These questions matter more than anything you could ever say to her, because people are not drawn to words. They are drawn to energy. And your energy comes from the habits you live by, the thoughts you nurture, and the standards you hold for yourself every single day. When she looks at you again, she must not see the man who broke down. After she left, she must see the man who rose. Growth is the strongest form of attraction. Strength is magnetic. Self-respect is irresistible. If you build yourself into someone grounded, confident, and disciplined, you will not only inspire her, you will inspire yourself. And the moment you inspire yourself, you no longer fear losing her, because you have gained something even greater. You have gained yourself. That is the foundation of real power, the kind that cannot be taken away, the kind that makes people return because they feel safer in your presence than anywhere else. This is why your focus must shift toward growth in every area. In your body, because physical strength communicates discipline. In your mind, because mental clarity communicates stability. In your work, because purpose communicates direction. In your spirit, because peace communicates security. All of these combined create a man who is not chasing anyone, yet draws everyone. And when she sees that, when she feels that, she will not just remember the man she loved, she will realize you have become even more than that man. Stop asking what you should do to get her attention. Start asking what you should do to respect yourself. Because respect is the core of attraction. When you respect your body, you take care of it. When you respect your mind, you feed it with strength instead of weakness. When you respect your time, you invest it in growth instead of wasting it on begging for someone to return. That kind of respect radiates without words, and it speaks directly to her subconscious. It makes her curious again. It makes her proud again. It makes her see you in a light that changes everything. You do not need to prove yourself to her by pleading. You prove yourself by becoming. Every step you take toward discipline, every habit you build, every weakness you replace with strength is a step that makes her heart turn back toward you. She may not say it out loud, but she will feel it. And when she feels it, the pull becomes impossible to ignore. Silence is one of the strongest moves you can make, because silence is not emptiness. It is power. When you stop reaching out, when you stop explaining, when you stop trying to force her attention, you give her something she cannot ignore, space to feel. Human beings are wired to notice absence. When something once constant is suddenly gone, the mind begins to search for it. This is the psychology of scarcity. What is less available becomes more valuable. By stepping back, you remove the noise, and in that quiet, she begins to remember. She remembers your presence, not as pressure, but as comfort. She remembers your words, not as arguments, but as warmth. The silence you create is not rejection. It is the reset that allows her to feel the truth again. This is why you must resist the urge to chase. Chasing is noise, chasing is chaos, chasing confirms her decision to leave. But silence is control, silence is strength. Silence shows her that you are not falling apart, you are standing tall. And when she feels that strength, her mind shifts. She starts to question whether she misjudged you. She starts to wonder why you are no longer fighting for her attention. Curiosity grows, and curiosity is the beginning of reconnection. Think about what happens when someone withdraws their energy from you. At first you feel relief, then you feel neutrality. But eventually you begin to wonder. You begin to notice the absence more than you notice the presence. This is the same effect your silence has on her. It removes the tension and replaces it with reflection. She begins to see what life feels like without you in it, and in that space her emotions have the chance to resurface. This is the quiet pull that brings her back closer than any words could. But silence is only powerful when paired with growth. If you are silent but still the same, she feels nothing. If you are silent while becoming stronger, she feels everything. Because silence without transformation is emptiness, but silence with transformation is mystery. Mystery awakens her curiosity. Mystery makes her think of you when she least expects it. Mystery keeps her wondering who you are becoming, and that wondering keeps you alive in her mind. You must trust this process, even when it feels unbearable. Every moment you resist reaching out is a moment you increase your value in her heart. Every day you remain quiet while building yourself is a day she begins to feel the shift. Let silence work for you. Let it create the contrast she needs to see the truth. Let it show her that you are no longer the man begging for her return, but the man she cannot forget, the man whose absence is louder than anyone else's presence. Memories have a way of living inside the heart long after someone has walked away. They are not erased, they are stored, waiting for the right moment to rise again. When she thinks of you, it will not be the fights or the endings that return first. It will be the moments where her heart felt alive, the times she laughed without holding back, the safety she once felt in your arms. This is how the human mind works. Emotional memory is stronger than logic. Long after decisions have been made, feelings linger, and those feelings can be awakened if you choose to live in a way that reflects the best of who you once were and who you are becoming now. The spark that first brought her close to you did not come from words, it came from energy. It came from how you carried yourself, how you looked into her eyes, how you made her feel when she was around you. Those impressions left marks that time cannot simply wash away. Even if she tries to bury them, even if she tries to distract herself, they resurface in quiet moments. When she lies awake at night, when she hears a song that reminds her of you, when she passes a place where you once stood together, those memories breathe again. They create an emotional pull that logic cannot fight. Your task is not to force those memories, but to live in a way that naturally brings them to life. When she sees you strong again, she will remember the man who once gave her strength. When she sees you at peace, she will remember the calm you brought to her storms. When she sees you living with purpose, she will remember the inspiration you once gave her. These moments act as triggers, not because you are asking for her to remember, but because your actions awaken the emotions she already holds. This is why becoming your highest self is the most powerful step you can take. You are not only building a better life for yourself, you are also reigniting the very feelings that made her fall for you. And here lies the truth. Memories do not fade when they are tied to emotion. They remain alive, waiting for proof that they were real, waiting for evidence that what she felt was not just a chapter, but the beginning of a greater story. She will not come back because you begged her to remember. She will come back because she cannot forget. She will not return because you reminded her of the past. She will return because you created a present that feels even stronger, even safer, even more alive. This is the quiet force of emotional memory. It never truly dies, it only sleeps. And when awakened by the right energy, it becomes impossible to resist. Patience is the test that separates those who crumble from those who rise. Love is not restored overnight. Hearts do not shift in a single moment. It takes time for distance to soften anger, for silence to awaken curiosity, and for growth to prove itself real. The one who waits with strength creates the space for healing to unfold. The one who rushes destroys the very chance of reunion. Patience is not weakness. Patience is discipline. It is the quiet confidence of someone who knows that what is meant will return when the time is right. The human heart does not respond to pressure, it responds to consistency. If you are restless, if you are desperate, if you cannot endure the weight, you show her that your growth is only an act, not a truth. But if you stand steady, if you remain grounded, if you move forward without needing constant reassurance, you show her that your transformation is real, and reality cannot be denied. She will see it, she will feel it. And the longer you maintain it, the deeper her belief will grow. Patience is powerful because it mirrors strength. A man who can wait is a man who is not controlled by fear. Fear rushes, fear clings, fear demands. Strength waits, strength trusts. Strength understands that timing is a force no one can control, but energy is. And when she looks back, she will not only notice that you changed, she will notice that you endured. She will see that your love was not fragile, that your focus was not temporary, that your effort did not fade when the process took longer than expected. That is when her heart softens. That is when her mind begins to question the choice to walk away. Patience is also the builder of respect. When you do not chase, you show her that you value yourself. When you do not demand, you show her that you value her freedom. When you give her space without bitterness, you show her that your love is strong enough to wait. Respect is born from restraint, and respect is what makes someone return not out of guilt, but out of choice. And nothing lasts longer than love that comes by choice. Every day you remain patient, you grow more attractive. Every moment you resist rushing, you grow more magnetic. Every time you trust the process instead of forcing it, you create the energy that makes her want to be near you again. Do not see patience as wasted time. See it as proof of strength, as proof of depth, as proof of the man you are becoming. Because when she does come back, it will not be because you begged. It will be because your patience proved that your love was real, steady, and unbreakable. There is a fire within you that has been waiting for your permission to rise. You have walked through moments of hesitation, through storms of doubt, through whispers of fear that tried to convince you that you are not enough. But the truth is that you have always been enough. You have always carried the strength to stand tall, to face resistance, to step into the discomfort that shapes warriors. Every tear, every failure, every time you were told to settle has been a silent rehearsal for the greatness you were born to claim. The pain that once made you question your worth will one day be the very fuel that ignites your unstoppable rise. Strength does not reveal itself when everything is easy. It reveals itself when you are pressed, when you are tired, when no one is watching, when every part of you wants to give in, but something deeper whispers to hold on. That whisper is not weakness. It is the voice of your potential begging you not to surrender. And when you listen, when you choose to move forward despite the weight on your shoulders, you will discover that the weight was never meant to break you, but to build a version of you that no obstacle can crush. Your mind is your greatest battlefield. Every limitation, every excuse, every fear lives there. And yet, so does every dream, every possibility, every breakthrough waiting to be born. You cannot serve both doubt and destiny. You must choose. You must decide which voice you will honor. And when you commit to feeding the vision instead of the fear, your entire world begins to shift. The doors that looked locked will begin to open, not because they suddenly changed, but because you finally became the person strong enough to walk through them. There will be times when no one claps, no one notices, no one supports. But understand this clearly, the applause was never the point. The purpose was never to be seen, it was to become. And becoming requires you to stand firm in silence, to grow in the shadows, to grind when the world is asleep. You do not need recognition to rise. You need resilience. You need faith. You need the discipline to show up, even when your emotions try to chain you down. There is greatness inside of you that does not require permission. It does not depend on perfect conditions. It demands only that you trust the process, that you embrace the discomfort, that you refuse to quit when quitting would be easier. You were not created for a life of hesitation and regret. You were created to rise, to shine, to break limits, and to prove to yourself that nothing can stop a soul that refuses to be broken. This is your time. This is your fight. And if you dare to give everything, you will become everything. Do you want me to keep building more sections in the same style until you have a complete long script? Every breath you take is proof that life is giving you another chance to rise higher than the moment before. You are not defined by the weight of yesterday, nor are you chained by the mistakes of your past. You are defined by the decision you make now in this moment to refuse to shrink, to refuse to surrender, to refuse to accept anything less than the highest expression of your strength. The world may try to convince you that you are ordinary, but deep within you lives a spirit that was designed to stand out, to conquer, to create, to inspire. That spirit will not be silenced until you give it the freedom to fully awaken. There will be days when your energy feels drained and the noise of doubt becomes louder than the voice of hope. When every step feels heavier than the last, these are the days that separate those who wish from those who will. Because the true measure of power is not found in how loud you speak of your dreams, but in how silently and relentlessly you fight for them when the world has gone quiet. No one can hand you the life you desire. No one can carry your vision for you. It is your responsibility to protect it, to nurture it, to fight for it when no one believes it can be done. Do not wait for the perfect timing. Perfection is a mirage designed to paralyze you. The truth is that the only time you have is now. And within now lies everything you need to shift your direction, to build your strength, to declare that the person you once were is not the person you are becoming. Power comes from action, from discipline, from refusing to negotiate with excuses. Every day that you choose to push beyond comfort, you are rewriting the story of your life. You are proving to yourself that strength is not something you wait for. It is something you create with every decision, every sacrifice, every step into the unknown. The mind will try to trick you into believing that limits are walls. But they are not walls, they are doors. And those doors open only for the ones bold enough to keep pressing when it seems impossible. You must understand that fear is not your enemy. Fear is the invitation to growth. Fear is the proof that you are standing on the edge of transformation. And if you dare to walk through it, you will discover that the things you once thought were too big for you were actually waiting for you to realize how big you truly are. Your life is not meant to be a cycle of hesitation. It is meant to be a masterpiece of courage. The world does not need a weaker version of you. It needs the strongest, boldest, most relentless version that you have been hiding. And now is the time to unleash it. Do you want me to continue building the next 500-word section so this script grows into a complete long-form motivational voiceover? Strength is not something you stumble upon. It is something you carve from the resistance you face. Every obstacle is shaping you. Every difficulty is sculpting you. Every hardship is sharpening you into the person you are meant to become. The pain you feel today is not punishment. It is preparation. It is teaching you to hold your ground when the storm rages, to rise taller when the weight increases, to move forward even when your legs shake. Nothing powerful has ever been built without struggle, and nothing lasting has ever been created without sacrifice. You are not here to escape struggle. You are here to prove that you can endure it, master it, and transform it into the foundation of your strength. The moment you stop running from discomfort, you take back your power, because comfort is the slow death of potential, while discomfort is the birthplace of growth. Every time you step beyond what feels safe, you stretch your capacity. Every time you push through what feels impossible, you expand the limits of your mind and body. You were not created to live small, to play safe, to shrink into the expectations of others. You were created to explore the edges of your ability, to break through the ceilings of your fear, to set fire to the doubts that try to hold you back. Your mind is the battlefield where victories are won or lost before you ever take action. If you feed it weakness, it will accept defeat. If you feed it strength, it will demand progress. Every thought you allow becomes the architect of your future. Do not poison yourself with self-doubt. Do not starve yourself with hesitation. Do not sabotage yourself with excuses. Discipline your mind to believe, to focus, to push, to rise, and your reality will follow. There will always be voices telling you to stop, but none of them matter more than the voice inside you that says keep going. That voice is your truth. That voice is your guide. That voice is the part of you that knows what you are capable of even when you feel broken. Listen to it. Trust it. Strengthen it until it drowns out the noise of fear and doubt. Every setback you have faced is proof that you are still standing. Every scar you carry is evidence that you have already survived battles most people would never understand. Do not see them as signs of weakness. See them as reminders that nothing has been able to destroy you. You are still here, breathing, moving, fighting, which means you are undefeated. Life will not hand you freedom, success, or fulfillment. It will hand you opportunities disguised as challenges, and it is your responsibility to seize them. The fire you are searching for has always been inside you. All that remains is for you to choose to ignite it, and once you do, nothing will be able to extinguish it. Do you want me to keep building more 500-word sections so this becomes a complete long motivational script for your video? Greatness begins in the silence of your own decision. It is not about waiting for someone to validate you, not about hoping that the world will suddenly recognize your worth.